The movie begins with Alithea Binney, a woman, telling a story about herself that she claims to be a fantasy. Alithea, who studies mythology, is traveling to Istanbul for a conference where she will interact with other academics. When Alithea arrives, a little man walks up to her, places his hand on her baggage handle, and whispers something to her while his palm radiates an odd, shimmering energy. The little man whispers, "This way, the masteries of Istanbul." Before she says something, her co-workers arrive at the airport and the little man runs away. On their way to the hotel, she asks her co-workers if they saw the little fellow at the airport. They say, "What fellow?" And laughing, "It must be a djinn." She attends the conference. During her lecture, she is hallucinating a strange creature staring at her. She gets scared and loses concentration. She is speaking on mythology and how it relates to reality when she notices a big, metal-looking figure among the crowd. The metal guy appears to charge after Alithea as she walks away, and Alithea collapses. As the other professors assist her in standing up, she offers the crowd a thumbs up. Professor Gunhan invites Alithea to a shop selling antiques. She discovers a glass bottle that the shop owner claims was blown hundreds of years ago. Alithea is enamored with the bottle and requests it despite Gunhan's offer to purchase her something more attractive. Since the bottle has fire damage, Alithea cleans it once she is back in her hotel room. The bottle opens as she brushes it with her electric toothbrush, letting loose a djinn. The djinn initially appears enormous, but he is able to shrink to a normal but still intimidating size. He shows Alithea his abilities by absorbing information from the TV and snatching a projection of Albert Einstein from the screen. Along with describing his ability to grant wishes, he also informs Alithea of the restrictions on his abilities, such as his inability to bestow immortality or atone for misdeeds. His greatest desire is to be released from his captivity, but Alithea believes he is playing a prank on her. In her conversation with the djinn, Alithea shares several personal details about herself. She attended an all-girls school and made up a fictional romance with a boy named Enzo that she wrote about. Someone knocks on the door. Alithea gets worried. She opens the door, but this is just the server brought her breakfast. When she comes back to her room, Jinn brings various food out of nowhere. The food is amazing. She never tasted such a delicious thing before. The djinn continues by telling Alithea how he ended up in prison. The djinn had fallen in love with Queen Sheba thousands of years prior, but King Solomon also wanted her. He went a long way and played the harp for her to win her over. Queen Sheba was impressed by King Solomon and fell in love with him. Sheba was half human and half djinn. To appear more human to Solomon, she got rid of her bodily hair that was a djinn's feature. Solomon realized that Jinn loves Queen Sheba. Solomon imprisoned the djinn in a bronze bottle and flung it into the ocean while putting Sheba to sleep. He left the djinn there for more than 2,000 years. A djinn's problem. Alithea also reveals to the djinn that she was once married to Jack, and that she was expecting a son they had intended to call Enzo. However, it seems that Alithea miscarried, and the couple's marriage ended in tragedy. The djinn keeps on explaining to Alithea how he came to be in this position. Some fishermen got him from the bottom of sea while he was stoned. Then he was found in the eye of an Ottoman warrior. Next, he was placed in the wall of an empire. A slave girl named Gulten, who was in love with Prince Mustafa, discovered the brass bottle. She came across a djinn, who granted her request to court Mustafa and become pregnant with his offspring. Jinn told Gulten to hide the bottle to keep it safe. Sultan Suleiman, the father of Mustafa, had a favorite concubine named Hurrem, who persuaded Suleiman that Mustafa was seeking his throne and might be using deception to accomplish so. For the assassination of Mustafa and the pursuit of Gulten, Suleiman hired assassins. The djinn implored her to grant a third wish so that she might save herself, but before she could, she was apprehended and executed. The djinn wanted to help her, but on his way he encountered Iblis and became scared. The djinn remained in the brass bottle. The djinn tried for 100 years to draw someone's attention to find him. Eventually, Murad sensed him. A giantess and two brothers, Murad and Ibrahim, two little brothers, were still alive decades later. When they were young, the two nearly discovered the brass bottle in which the djinn was still imprisoned, but they were unable to move the stone Gulten had placed there. Murad also had bodily hair like a djinn. Probably he had a djinn's power in his blood. The djinn followed Murad for many years to draw his attention back. Before Murad could take control of his realm, he left to engage in battle. Ibrahim's mother abandoned him in a prison with concubines of his choosing. Ibrahim preferred heavier-built, more curvaceous ladies. Murad was bloodthirstier and more aggressive, carelessly murdering other men in the realm for amusement. Murad became crueler. He was paranoid, and nothing could make him happy except for an old man that was a good storyteller. After the death of the old man, he again was feeling lonely. He became weak and weak until he passed away. Ibrahim was compelled to take over as ruler after Murad passed away, against his will. He kept his harem of concubines, with Sugarlump as its leader. Sugarlump stumbled as she made her way through the caverns, and her body slammed into the stone blocking the brass bottle. The Jinn is called, but despite his efforts to persuade Sugarlump to grant him a wish, she rejects his gifts and requests that he be returned to his original location. As a result, he is once again imprisoned in the bottle at the bottom of the ocean. Alithea returns to the present and grows tired of the Jinn's persistent requests for her to make wishes. Following their dispute, Alithea declares that she is starting to wish that they had never met. The Jinn panics since this has happened to him before. The Zephyr complication. The Jinn continues his tale about Zephyr, a young scholar. She married an older guy when she was just 12 years old, because he preferred her to his 2 other wives, who despised her. Zephyr pursued education when she wasn't meeting her husband's requirements. The spouse found the brass bottle and gave it as a gift to Zephyr. Zephyr wanted greater understanding after releasing the Jinn. The Jinn started to fall for Zephyr while he was living with her, and showed her his magic while also making a new bottle for himself, the same one Alithea discovered. Zephyr was an intelligent woman. The Jinn liked talking to her for hours. She said if she were a man, her intellect would be accepted. She always wanted to learn. Her first wish was that she wanted to have all the knowledge that are useful and true. Her wish was fulfilled, but she could not solve a mathematical puzzle that she was obsessed with. Her second wish was to solve the puzzle. She was able to explain electromagnetic, the stuff of which that Jinn are made. Zephyr was pregnant with Jinn baby. The Jinn loved Zephyr and wanted to stay with her. He did not want to be free, so the Jinn stopped Zephyr from making her third wish. She started to blame the Jinn that he trapped her like her husband. Zephyr wished that she forget him. The Jinn was disappeared, and Zephyr forget everything about him. He again remained in the bottle for many years. Alithea makes her first wish for them to fall in love once the Jinn has finished telling his story. Her first wish comes true. As cosmic imagery surrounds them, the Jinn appear to lift her up and start making out with her. The Jinn travels back to London with Alithea. She is happy with the Jinn. When they are enjoying the weather, her neighbors saw her. She must deal with 2 prejudiced neighbors and confront them about their actions. By providing them with a chickpea snack that the Jinn initially provided to Alithea, the Jinn persuades her to believe that she is superior to them. After meeting the Jinn, the women become friendly with him. The Jinn starts to explore new things that he never saw before. After some time, the Jinn starts to deteriorate, with his body appearing to disintegrate as a result of cell tower and satellite transmissions having an impact on the substance that makes up his body. When the Jinn is cured and able to communicate once again, Alithea uses her second and third wishes to help. This will allow him to be set free and transported back to his home realm. Alithea has published a new book 3 years later. She is shocked to see the Jinn visit her after receiving complete healing. In her final narrative, Alithea says that the Jinn would keep stopping by her occasionally after they parted ways. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to be notified when I upload new videos and enjoy watching.